Forgot to turn on YouTube. Let's go turn YouTube on.
Okay.
Somebody decided they wanted to play with our camera and our extension cable. There we go. And screwed up my USB connector. Did you get it? Well, I think it's there, but we got to figure out something. Put it back together. May just pull it out and put another short piece of cable on it.
Well, David Kassler was apparently dissing the DX Commander.
Why?
I don't know yet. I haven't watched the whole thing. He got off onto a bad start, and I got distracted.
Oh.
And then somebody else came back with a David Kassler. You're wrong, or something like that. You know.
And the only thing I can fault him for is it's cost way more than I wanted to pay, but it's worth it.
On a DX Commander?
Yeah.
Compared to what vertical?
Well, compared to stringing some wires from a
Oh yeah, I mean that's always the case. But
fiberglass, yeah. Compared to what you're doing right there on your bench.
but if you don't have trees you have access to, and you don't have whatever.
It's just a vertical fan.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's good though.
It's why is it a problem? I mean, how could it not work?
Well, I don't know what I'll go back and listen. I always go through and catch up on some of his stuff, but he kind of gets off on little tangents every now and then. But
Yeah, he can get a little grumpy every once in a while.
yeah, he gets down in the weeds and some of his little episodes. But I still enjoy the guy.
Yeah. I have to he gets me like on something like that where he gets me ticked off, and I just kind of say, enough for a while, I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then I come back.
Yeah, he was more upset about the instructions not being very good.
And I didn't have any
Come
trouble
on,
with
who
him at
reads the
all.
instructions? Really? Yeah, and I could see that. His video, I love the guy's videos, whatever he is, Captain America, whatever the hell is. The guy, the commander guy, DX Commander guy. His videos are great too.
Colin, yeah,
Caleb.
he's fun.
Caleb,
That's it. I watched it 3 or 4 times, and I thought it was a guy doing a review of the DX Commander. And then I finally realized, oh, that's the guy that's building the darn thing.
He's the one that makes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he didn't look anything like I expected him to. He's building them out of his basement and making a bunch of money. Good for him. Good for him.
Oh. Yeah, this could be a quiet night, I think.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about holiday.
Okay.
It's kind of like quiet nights aren't all bad. Ed said he was coming. Peter said he was coming, so that'll raise the noise floor a little bit. I got me a 20 amp hour belt battery. It's supposed to be a LifePo 4 for $65.
and what is it?
Lithium ion phosphate, 20 amp hour battery for $65.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
I'll show it.
pretty good.
Yeah, I think it was.
So are you setting up?
You went to get it.
Are you setting up a portable setup with that? I mean, is that just your emergency backup?
It's for Hamfest.
Do you have a good charger for it.
He went to get it. I don't know. Good evening, guys.
Hello, everybody.
I can.
Hey, Ken.
How you doing, Mark?
Hey. No, Mark and I are the only two here at the Elmer night at the moment. We figure we got Ed and Peter K. It's supposed to be here after a while. So.
And Lee's driving in.
Oh, Lee's coming in, so it'll get noisy now.
Well, we got more than that here on Zoom.
I know it. Here he
Yeah.
comes. He's got a show and tell. Hold on. There you go.
It's a LiPo.
LiFePO 4, supposed to be a lithium ion phosphate.
Yeah, that's the good one.
$65 for 20 amp hours.
How much?
65.
That's not a bad price.
Not bad.
I don't think so. I charged this
Have you
one
got-
up. Peter's gonna take it and try to discharge it.
Do you have a good charger for it?
Yeah. Yeah, I got a, hang on, let me see where it's at. This does, see it there. It does lithium ion phosphate. It does lead acid and something else.
That is a cool looking battery.
Yeah,
Lithium, lead, and lithium ion phosphate.
Yeah, lithium iron phosphate has to be charged at a higher voltage, like
14.4.
14.4, 14.6, something like that.
Yep.
To get a full charge on it.
And it's also got a repair. You can repair a lead acid battery. It's supposed to pulse it. But this is supposed
How
to
many
be for
watts?
Amazon. This
How
is
many
for-
watts output is it?
6 amps on at 12 volt, 6 amps, and we also do 24 volts at 3 amps.
That's 72 watts. How much was that charger, Mark?
26, 28, something like that.
That's not too bad.
No, it's not. I think it's a good deal. I think it's a good deal. Of what I'm using it for is for Hamfest, for the ARRL stuff and for demos.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
just-
yeah.
I can just slap down a battery and I want to hook up a couple little radios and like a side SDR radio.
But you know,
for demo.
that LiPo 4 is a much safer battery than lithium ions.
Yep. And it's supposed to be 20 amp hours. So I got 2 of them so I could rotate them out and that'd give me 40 amp hours.
Sure a lot lighter than a car battery.
Yeah. I still haven't figured out what I want to do like a little Morse code key thing.
Yeah.
Peter found me a little program that you put in like battleships. You put in the letter and a number like A6 and it will you hit a little button that says fire and it'll do a little battleship kind of simulator on the screen. So the kids would have to put in a Morse code correctly to get the right stuff to happen.
That they have to put in the coordinates like A6 or
Right.
in Morse code.
Right. No, it's not just like A6 and you put a da and then dotted it. And
Yeah, that's what I mean.
yeah,
A6
yeah.
in Morse
Just like
code.
battleships.
Yeah.
And some of the little game kind of crap like that is what I want to kind of put together so that when we go more like to this airport stuff again or to the Norman Night Out, we'll have some more stuff for the kiddos to play.
Hey, I worked some EME during that contest.
Oh yeah,
I worked German, Russia, a couple of USAs, another German, and Netherlands and England. on 432 EME.
Oh, crap. Good for you. Hey, I almost got you a demo job. I don't know if they've finished it yet, but there's a group that wants to be able to, out of Ukraine, or somewhere over there, that wants to be able to transmit UHF to a satellite. And we're looking to figure out the modulation scheme. It's
Well,
GFSK, I think is what it is.
yeah, I mean, you can work satellites now with digital mode.
Well, it's GFSK, and but you would be talking, I don't know, through the satellite or to the satellite. I don't know the story, but it's on 437. Do you have anything that encodes GFSK?
I don't think so.
They said they had a GNU radio program that might do. They were looking for somebody that had a good UHF transmit situation, and I said, oh, I think I know the man.
Well, you can talk through satellites now with single sideband, FM, or digital.
I think it's a commercial, or it's a test. They're trying to do some software test.
Well, and they're in Europe, and they want to talk to you down to States.
They want somebody from here to hit it when it's on this side of the world.
Well, you wouldn't be able to talk to them from here.
No, but it might. I think it's
Because
to test their down system, if I'm guessing right.
Yeah.
They've got a downlink system, and they're
Well,
probably wanting to put a signal up to test theirs.
I'm just saying you couldn't talk to them because the satellite wouldn't be high enough for
Right.
us both to see the satellite at the same time. So
Right.
I guess I don't understand what they're trying to do.
I really don't either. GFSK, I just had to go look it up, as Gaussian file frequency shift keying.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
There is a lot of FSK modes, and
Yeah.
we was looking into that on 630 meters, and there was a guy in Australia that built, designed, he did the code for a lot of different kinds of FSK modes,
Right.
and that could have been one of them. I don't remember for sure, but I guess I just don't understand what they're trying to do.
Yeah, they haven't figured out what they're trying to do yet.
He stole it too. He stole the battery.
I mean, we already have ways for amateurs to talk through the satellites.
Well, the group is they're building software to do a
20 amp.
downlink, a set of ground stations. And the idea is that, like, I build a ground station, I listen, and I
Amazon. I told you he stole it.
it, like, if Carl puts up one of these little tiny satellites, he would use our ground network and pay the ground network to use the communication stuff.
Oh, I see. Mhm.
So it's all test, where it's in test mode. I've been working with him about 2 or 3 years. And the concept is, it's a little contract, a little software that does a contract that says, okay, you'll pull this signal and you'll get this much money. And
If,
if you pull the signal-
are they planning on doing, different uplink frequencies and downlink frequency, like?
Yes,
Yeah, that's what I'm looking.
the software is supposed to be able to switch, when it gets done, the software would switch the radio to the right frequency. It
Yeah.
would send the right coordinates to a rotor, and it would, follow the capillary.
Have you watched any YouTubes on the IC 9700 doing satellite, working with that PC satellite program?
The PC Sat 32? No, I haven't.
There's a bunch of YouTubes on there that really looks neat, and they're using the 9700. And I don't know if I told you or not. I think I posted it on our chat page that I copied some guys working FT4 through one of the satellites,
Oh, yeah.
and I decoded it. So they can do digital mode through the satellites. And with that 9700 and PC sat, man, you pretty much lock on to that satellite, and you don't have to do anything. That software takes care of the Doppler shift.
Yep.
And
That's this stuff right here that I have on the screen, right?
yes, right.
And that's what we used for when we did the ISS thing in last December. We used
Yeah.
PC 32
Yeah,
software.
in 7.0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was cool. You just put the caps in there and we'd put in a couple passes before the one we were supposed to use, and we put the passes in, and you'd be outside, and all of a sudden the rotors go zipping over to the other side,
Yeah.
and they lock in and follow it all the way across the sky.
Yeah.
Our big problem there was we were worried that some of the cabling, would snag as it went overhead. So
Yeah.
we had to do a lot of cable management.
Yeah, you do. And I had to do cable management here, and I'm doing a similar thing. I'm using that same kind of a rotor.
Yeah, it's the same Yaesu rotor. I saw the picture.
Yeah.
I showed the guy the rotor, the guy in the East. I said, "Here's his rotor," and so I don't. They were trying to figure his first thing, and you'll get a kick out of this. His first thing was, and we need 200 kilohertz of bandwidth.
What kind of digital mode are they using?
Don't know. I said, you don't have it. Nobody in ham gear will do a 200 kilohertz.
Who's got that wide of a, and that must be for video or something.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he had it wrong.
Yeah.
But I said, well, 200 kilohertz is bad. And then how do you encode it? And there's GNU Radio has a deal to do that. So that shouldn't be any big deal. But the 200 kilohertz, he kind of quit, and he didn't argue with me on 200 kilohertz. So maybe it was supposed to be 20 kilohertz or something.
Yeah. 200 kilohertz. Wow.
200.
Yeah, I mean, think about a single sideband signals is less than 3 kilohertz.
Yeah. Well, even on FM, it's 25.
Yeah.
Broadcast FM is 200.
Yeah.
Maybe they may not know what they're talking about. They just picked the broadcast number. And
Yeah.
I didn't get a good answer on that one. But this.
Hey, I talked to Dave Ernst,
Oh, did you talk to him? Oh, good for you.
and we caught up on a lot of stuff. But
Oh, I'm so glad
he told me the tale of the receiver, and I told him that I'm glad that he got it to you instead of throwing it away or giving it to someone that wouldn't appreciate it.
I'm gonna
I
go
know
get it.
you would appreciate that.
It's not in my car. I'm gonna bring it in and let you see it. But
Yeah.
it's in really good shape. I haven't plugged it in. I should do that tonight. And
Well, whenever I was on Guam, I used to call them 75A4s, and this 51J is older than that.
I think it was, somebody said 56, 57. Does that sound right?
Yeah, it does.
I'm glad you guys got to talk, because he was really a nice guy.
Yeah, I always liked old Dave, and Bill, that's in our ham club.
Bill Senate,
No, I can't.
Bill Robertson.
No. Oh gosh, he's on the Zoom meeting. Bill Boyd.
Bill Boyd. Bill Baker.
No.
Bill Boyd. Oh, yeah. Bill Boyd. Yeah. Okay. I'm with you.
He worked at Seagate, and
Oh, I didn't know that.
After I got through talking to Dave, I got back on Zoom and I told Bill who I was talking to, and he said, "Yeah, I know Dave well."
Oh my gosh.
So they knew each other too. And when I talked to Dave, he said he was always interested in getting his ham ticket. I told him, "It's not too late, Dave."
That's exactly what I told him. I said,
Yeah.
the man, Ken will get you going. I said, if you need any help, I'll be there. But I said, there's no code involved and it's,
Yeah,
I said, if you could do engineering, you can pass the damn test.
yeah. And he said, back in the day, whenever he was interested in it, it had a code test and he couldn't
Right.
do the code. So I told him, well, there's no code now, no excuse now.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
he is, I was thinking he was younger than me, but he is 84. So,
Was he? Yeah, he called. I get all these weird calls, and it mostly comes from the Cora webpage. But hey, I've got this piece of equipment. Can you? What do you think? And I, it's like, don't throw it away.
Yeah.
And I'll come get it right now.
Yeah, I mean, those old boat anchors are,
Yep.
they're, we don't want to get rid of them. Someone's got to take care of them.
Yeah. I told him. I said, I got some empty rack space. It'll work just fine.
Yeah,
Well, I'll go fix that. I forgot all about that. It's out in the car. I meant
I'm
to bring
glad you got that thing.
I got notification down.
I think it's got about 20 tubes in it, and I posted on our page that I may have some tubes
Yeah.
fit that if you want me to dig through the attic and see.
I don't- he said it fired up when whoever his buddy was, when he put it up in the attic, it was still working.
Yeah,
So I don't know if I got an antenna or I don't have a earphones that'll plug into a 1/4 inch. I'll have to go look around, but
it's got a 1/4 inch. What you got an adapter that'll.
yeah, I don't know if I got one here though. Is the problem. I'll go look and see what we got. But, carry on. Oh, there's Mr. Pointing away from me. Core. All right, I'm gonna go fetch.
All right, take this thing off the screen here.
Do you have your
Hey, Ken, what antenna rotor were you talking about using with that?
I use a Yaesu G5500.
Okay, say that again, please.
It's a Yaesu G5500.
He sits there at work and he looks like he's busy, but he's actually fine.
Mad for the last few days.
Well, you guys have the,
I don't think there's 30. I think there's
you guys still have the PC Sat 32 page on your screen?
I read.
Yes.
What are you using?
We need to get rid of that. And Mark walked off. Hey, Mark,
Hey, what?
Let me show you.
take that PC Sat 32 page off the screen.
Oh, good. Yeah. Good for you. Thanks.
I haven't heard you.
Forgot about that.
All right, thank you. Oh, yeah.
Now you can see all your pretty faces.
Yeah. So I see a rig here. What's that Ken's got on the screen?
That's a model RBO radio receiver, Navy Department, Bureau of Ships,
Oh, yeah,
entertainment receiver.
yeah. Ken, I've got my 9700 up and running with the GPS and all that,
Aha.
and I'm ready to make a contact on whatever band or mode. Probably 2 meters would be better. You got a 2 meter Yagi?
I got right at the moment, the tape measure antenna,
The what?
tape measure antenna,
Oh, yeah,
but it's not set up, but
yeah.
uh,
Well, I can do single sideband, FM, digital mode, or CW. And I've got 11 element Yagi. But
Well-
I've got just enough figured out on this 9700 to operate, there's a bunch more to learn. But
yeah, I've only scratched the surface.
yeah, me too.
I found
I do have, I used it to do moon bounce over the weekend.
uh-huh.
I worked 7 stations. Most of them was in Europe, a couple of them was in the United States, but I worked Russia too 432 moon bounce.
We had a heck of a full moon the other night.
Yeah. Well, that was the night that I done it, the night of the eclipse, but
Uh-huh.
it was before the eclipse that I worked those guys. I need more power, like Tim the Tool Man says, more power.
Mm.
We all need more power.
Hey,
But
Ken
I'm
asks,
with-
how did that antenna turn out?
My antenna's working good. I can really receive good, but I just don't, they just can't hear me as well as I can hear them. I'm either gonna have to improve my antenna or get a bigger amplifier. I've got an amplifier, but I'm only getting about, I'm driving it with the 9700. I think I'm putting about, oh, there's that receiver. I'm putting about 25 watts in that amp, and I'm getting about 120 watts out, Ken, and that's just not enough power for moon bounce. There's that's a Collins 51J right there, and that was Cadillac receiver back in the day.
Ken S,
Yo,
how did your antenna that you just tested, how did it turn out?
it was about 4-to-1 SWR, but it was in my hand. I want to get it on, that was with a little MFJ handheld. I'm going to put it on a
Man,
Nano VNA and get a plot.
that 51J looks really good.
But first blush, it's it'll again. I think I've got a length problem on this element here. I need to measure that out. But it was coming in the 4. I was able to get it in the 430, 440 range, but about 4-to-1 SWR handheld in the garage.
Yeah.
So
That's not
Yeah.
a fair test.
that's not a good test. Yeah. But
Carl, that rotor, there's a picture of that rotor on my QRZ.com page,
Oh, okay.
and it shows my homebrew 432 moon bounce antenna, and you can clearly see that rotor. It's on QRZ.com, and plug in my call sign. Well,
Did you get it used? Did you get it used or?
No, it's not new, and it's borrowed.
Oh,
Not mine. I borrowed it.
you have any idea what they sell for?
Yeah, they're expensive. It's about $650, I think. But there's actually 2 rotors there, an azimuth and an elevation rotor,
Mm-hmm.
and they're good for small moon bounce antennas and for satellite tracking.
Well, there's nothing else that works like it.
Yeah, you don't have too many choices. And for 432, the antennas aren't very big. So it works just fine for moon bounce. And I will probably end up using 4 antennas stacked for moon bounce. And that rotor will handle 4 of those.
Easily.
That homebrew rotor of mine is 14-foot boom. And so the longest element on there, I think, is about, the reflector is about 14 inches. So you can see they're not very big antennas for 70 centimeters. So that rotor will handle 4 of them easy.
Well, the tubes are coming up.
That's fantastic. So you had a power supply?
Oh, it's 110 power
Oh,
supply.
that's right. It's got AC.
Yeah, for tube.
You got an antenna?
No, I don't have an antenna. We're still looking for a headphones.
A headphone jack? Yeah. I got one right here, an adapter.
I got one in my house too, but I forgot. I thought I was going to throw one in this morning and I forgot all about it.
That thing looks in really good shape, Mark.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's, it's got a little bit of stuff around the edges, but, it's gorgeous.
Do you have a 17-inch rack that'll fit?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
But it's
man.
19, isn't it?
19, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I've got 4 of them, so I've still got some space.
Man, that's great. That thing goes down pretty low in frequency, doesn't it?
540 is what it said.
That's the bottom of the broadcast band.
It said it could go to 500, but they were the first IF is at 500, so they say they got squirreliness there, so
Yeah.
they re-rated it up to 540.
Well, man, you have a really good find there for that thing's in excellent shape for that age.
Oh, I think it is.
Well, you're gonna have to get a headset and a
I'll get a headset and get an antenna on it.
antenna on that thing, man.
But it's not putting any smoke out. I'm pretty happy. I figured I'd fire it up here at the firehouse, so if it smoked, we could take care of it.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, does that, the jack for the headset, does that use a 1/4 inch or does it use that jack
It's
that's?
a 1/4 inch, Carl.
It's a 1/4 inch.
Okay,
It should be-
there's another one that's, it looks like a 1/4 inch, but it's not actually a 1/4 inch. You know what I'm
That's-
talking about, Ken?
Yeah, but that one's a 1/4 inch.
This
Oh,
one's a
okay.
1/4 inch. Yeah, it's not the helicopter. I've got a headset. I've got a David Clark set that's a helicopter one, which is the little short, goofy one. But this is a 1/4 inch.
I've got a 1/4 inch to 8 inch adapter here also.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of those at the house. I just gotta see if I got one here.
Yeah. My moon tracking stuff is working good, Mark. It's staying right on the moon. Since he's gone.
How's your frequency stability? You good with the
Oh,
9700?
man, yeah. The first thing I did is ask that first guy that I worked how my frequency stability was, and he said it was solid as a rock and right on frequency. So I'm pretty happy with it. And
So you're doing 10 megahertz into the thing? Is that what you're doing?
no, you put that board in there, and then you set the GPS to the main oscillator frequency that ICOM uses, which is 49.125 megahertz.
So it's got a GPS receiver that's pulling it straight off the GPS.
Yeah, the GPS receiver is set for that frequency, and then that little board in there link couples that 49 megahertz signal into their oscillator to lock it to it. And when we first talked about that, I didn't think that was a very good idea. But,
Well, it's just a transmitter. It's
yeah.
just
Yeah,
overloading the thing.
And you have to turn the output on that little GPS receiver up to max, which I think is 36 mils. Goes in steps from 8 milliamps to 36 mils. So you turn it up all the way so it's got big enough signal to induce the 49 megahertz into their oscillator. And it seems to work good. I'm pretty happy with it. And sensitivity is good. But of course, I'm using a mass mount preamp, which you always have to do on moon bounce.
Yeah, and you're going to be pushing a good signal to it, so that's
Super. Ken, are you using a outside antenna for your GPS?
No, as a matter of fact, it's a little old bitty square box, about a third the size of a pack of cigarettes, with a magnet on the bottom of it, and I got it sitting on a tin can here inside the shack. And that's all you need for the antenna. Now, I had one of those old GPSs a long time ago. You had to have an outside antenna and all that crap for it. Man, they came a long way since then. Hello, John and Paul and Phil.
Good evening. Who in the world has that beautiful old Collins A-line radio?
That's a Collins 51J.
Yeah, those came along just right before the S lines.
Well,
That's Mark.
Mark is the proud owner of that.
Oh,
That's a real find, and that thing is really good shape.
It looks like it.
beautiful little radio.
That was a Cadillac at that time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. My mentor had a pair of those, receiver and transmitter matched.
Well, nobody I knew could afford one of those.
I sure couldn't. Never had been able to.
Whenever I was in the Air Force, we had Collins 75A4, but you know, military can afford that stuff, but us hams can't.
Yeah, you guys may have had the what were those KVM 2s? The transceiver.
Yeah, we did. We also used 75A4 and the KWS one with that big linear, Collins linear.
Big linear on it. Yep.
Well,
Yep.
the KWS one sit right on top of the linear, and the linear was about, I don't know, 2.5 feet tall, and then the KWS one set on top of that.
Yeah, they built a linear where it was kind of desk height.
Yeah.
You can shove it up against the end of a desk and set a radio on top of it.
Yeah, and that's why we had a console with 75A4s in the console, and then at the end, what was where the KWS one and the 2 kilowatt linear was. But we used that for point-to-point communications. We had net control station was Hickam Field in Hawaii, and we had point-to-point contacts all over the Pacific, Japan, Clark Air Force Base, Taiwan, whole bunch of places, Wake and Kwajalein. I went around and set up the stations in some of those places. Clark is one of them, and Kwajalein and Wake. Wake Island was that's not a very big island. Kwajalein is even smaller. When you land
out in the middle of the ocean.
When you land on Kwajalein, one wing is hanging out in the ocean.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
And you gotta shut her down quick or you run out of runway.
You end up out in the ocean. Yeah. Yeah.
We could see when you come into land, you could see sunken World War II Japanese submarines down in the water.
Oh, really?
2 or 3 of them, yeah.
Where they bombed them?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I've got a Collins receiver just about like that, given to me by a guy named Mike Callahan. Used to be with a club here, and he died of cancer. And he gave me that Collins receiver to go along with my Collins transmitter.
Which receiver is it?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, that's okay, Phil.
I can see the back. I can see the back of it.
Yeah, that's okay.
It was one of those A-line receivers, just like this.
Yeah.
It is.
I've got quite a lot of tubes up in the attic. If I'm going to have to dig them down one of these days and give them to the club, I guess.
What kind of tubes?
Oh, a bunch of old TV tubes, and there's a receiver.
You have sweep tubes?
I may have a couple of sweep tubes. You want me to look?
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
I'll give them to you if I've got them.
Well, I need some. Oh, what are they? 1 second.
I had about 3 tube caddies full of tubes left over in my old radio shop. And we went through that, and I gave all those to Conrad. He was the only guy I knew that was doing anything with tubes.
Yeah,
No,
I've done. What's the number, John?
there's one I gotta look up, but I forgot where I put the manual to it, and I'm not gonna dig it out now. But I need some 6146Bs.
I might have one of those. I'll look and see, but I may have one or two of the sweep tubes. I got a lot of the smaller tubes. I know I've got some tubes that fits in that Collins 51J because it had some tubes like 6BA6 and stuff like that. The 7-pin miniature tubes.
The little miniature tubes, yeah.
It's a receiver. They don't have any transmitter tubes in it, but and it's got a regulator or two in there. A gas regulator.
Well, you might call Conrad's daughter, Julie. I gave Conrad 4 or 5 6146s. And I don't know if he ever used them or I figured he still had them.
John, what do you have that uses a 6146?
This TS530S. The tubes are the two finals are bad.
Yeah.
I was able to test them. I have a friend who's got a tube tester.
I think they're in parallel, aren't they, John?
Yes.
You could then if one of them's good, you could take the other one out. You get half power, but you can still operate.
You have power. Yep.
But I want to get. It was working, and then something happened. I don't know what happened.
One of them might be good.
But it went phooey. I can't even remember when it was.
That's what happens when you get old. It's hard to remember that stuff.
And then, Ken, I was going to ask you too. Where could I find a 1 amp fast blow tube? Not tube. Fuse.
You can find them on Amazon.
Yeah, I ordered some and it's not working right. I don't know.
You talk about like an AGC
1 amp or 3 AG. Hey, I've got a bunch of fuses.
Yeah, 3AG, I think, is a slow blow.
Yeah.
AGC is a fast blow.
Yeah.
And if you're wanting 120 volt, you're really supposed to go to the ABC fuse. It's got a ceramic shell.
Yes.
These are, see, I got gobs of fuses.
It's a bag full of them.
Well, so I was trying to use this. I wasn't trying, but I was using this amplifier, and something happened. And in the manual, it says that if you're not getting any power on output, the first thing in the manual it says it's a sign the fuse is blown. So I went and got the fast blow tube, but it must be the voltage must be too high on it.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
But it won't work. That's the thing.
Oh, do you not get voltage through it?
Are you getting?
Say what now? I didn't hear Phil.
What's the resistance across the fuse?
I don't know.
Measure that with your VOM.
Okay.
For a 1 amp, that resistance ought to be 1 ohm or less.
Okay.
Yeah, but you tried more than one fuse, right?
Yes.
So I don't think that's it. I don't. So did you own the old fuse you took out?
Jeez, I don't know what I did with it. I had it.
I'm just saying, it might not have been nothing wrong with it.
That is true, but see the thing. I'd have to get the manual out. I don't have the manual. I was on vacation last week and we were just chucking stuff, and I didn't chuck anything, but like I set stuff to a side and then I put it away in a drawer. And it's one of those things where Now it's been such a crazy busy week because we're getting ready for Thanksgiving. I forgot where I put it. I'm drawing a blank. It's somewhere.
Well, I do that all the time, John. I straighten up one place and screw up the other place.
Right, and I thought I put that darn manual. Well, here it is right here. There we go.
All else.
Okay, this is what they said. They said a safety fuse is installed in your amplifier. The fuse is in series with the Zener diode. This will prevent the diode failure in the event the tube would flash. A tube would flash. New vacuum tubes occasionally will flash over. With the new fuse installed, that this should happen. The Zener is protected. That's not it. It was saying something about.
Nothing.
Sorry, I'm all over the place.
Looks like he's got a headphone jack in that Collins.
Yeah.
Okay? The tubes are 6MJ6.
I don't have any of them, but those sweep tubes, there's a lot of substitutes for them. And the first thing I would do is find out if one of them tube is good.
So they're good because the idling current is fine. That's why I think it's the fuse.
Well, did you say you had them tested?
Yes, they were.
They were both tested good?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where I read that. I know.
Well,
Sounds like that Zener diode, there's a crowbar circuit. If it gets momentary overvoltage, the Zener diode will fire. And the idea is it pulls fault current and blows the fuse.
Right. Where is the darn? Oh,
do you have plate voltage?
say what?
Do you have high voltage?
Yes.
You have plate current?
Yes.
You have plate
Nothing,
current,
man.
plate voltage?
Yes.
You're home free. You just need to tune it. You may have bad tubes.
Well,
He said they checked good.
yeah, they tested good. I'm trying to find the part and what it said where I'm getting my information from. Give me a second and I'll see if I can.
That is a cool looking old Collins radio.
It is.
Too bad that sucker weighs 200 pounds, Phil.
Yeah. Yeah, that was mine. I had to have my sons to bring it in here and put it in the closet.
I don't know how much it weighs, but it's heavy. It's a boat anchor deluxe.
I've got a this one beside it.
Yeah.
31 V3.
Yeah, I know what that is.
And that dude's every bit of 200 pounds.
Mhm.
This is only about 40, something like that,
Yeah.
42, 43.
That's pretty heavy though.
Yeah. Nah, ain't nothing.
These new radios weigh.
You got the rack handles on that one though. You can pick it up.
Yep.
This little Navy receiver I've got here is placarded at 103 pounds. Got it on a spec plate.
Collins.
Oh,
Oh, okay, here you go. I found it. Now, okay, no, I don't have plate current. That's what it is. It says the plate current. Okay, an indication of a blown fuse is 0 plate current in the transmit mode. Simply remove the top cover and replace the defective fuse. That's what it is. It's the plate current. I have no plate current.
Okay.
That's a little over-simplistic. So
Yeah.
there's 20 dozen things that could cause plate current problems.
You may not have any drive.
Might not have any drive.
Yeah.
But check your fuse with an ohm meter. Then you'll know at least know the fuse is good.
Okay.
And you have to be a little bit careful about tube checkers. on transmitter tubes
Okay.
because a tube checker puts a DC current through the tube and measures the conductance. And that's all well and good. That tells you that tube will conduct DC. It doesn't tell you that it will conduct RF.
Okay.
The best way to check a tube for RF is to put it in the radio and to look at the plate current, plate voltage, and grid voltage, and all like that. It's
Okay.
like if you have good grid voltage but no plate current, then you got no conductance through that tube.
Okay.
But
Well-
be careful because you're messing around with high voltage circuits.
No, I've been electrocuted before. It's fine.
And those are 6146s? No,
What's that?
what was the tube again?
The tube for the radio is the 6146B.
Okay,
We had those in all of our low band Motorola equipment.
John, you may not have any drive from the previous stage, the stage that puts the RF into the 6146s. So whatever's back there, you could have a bad tube back there and not getting any RF to the 6146.
Yeah, but I changed the drive tube out.
Okay.
And the drive tube, there is no drive to get to the tube. So
There what?
I changed the drive tube out, but there is no drive. I'm still waiting on, there was a Kenwood group that I'm talking to that has been waiting. I've been waiting for them to email me back.
Martin, do you have that thing tied to an antenna of any kind?
Yeah.
What's the number on that?
Just a VHF vertical.
Oh, I'm sorry. You were talking to.
No, John. What's the number on that rig? It's
A Kenwood TS 530S.
okay.
I thought Phil was talking to me. I'm sorry.
I thought he was
I
too.
interrupted there.
That's
No
okay.
problem.
That's okay. Do you have that 51J working?
Can you hear it?
Oh, I hear noise.
Yep. That's all I got right now. I've got it just to a VHF.
Oh, that
Vertical.
was you talking, I heard.
What frequency you're on? I'll transmit to you.
Oh. Where do you want to shoot?
I don't know.
What's your best output there?
80 meters or something. Got to do something low frequency or
Can you do 40 meters?
Yeah. There we go. Hey, the RF gain shows the thing moving.
good. That's promising.
Can you tune that thing to 7190?
Okie doke. Let's go to 72 and then back 100.
I remember that.
I got that. Phil's supposed to be decking it.
KD5U geo testing.
Here. No, well, there's a meter.
Mark, tell me when you get it tuned up.
Try that.
Should be on 0. Should be next.
Cool. Wow.
What frequency you on, Phil?
7190.
7190. I didn't hear it. I thought I heard something in the background.
Lower sideband.
PFO.
KD5U geo testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Gotcha.
KD5U geo.
Gotcha. Sounded good.
Do it again, Phil.
It was. You should.
I may not be far enough away from the other guy.
Oh. He said there's somebody else out there. Where do you want to go?
KD5U geo testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. KD5U geo.
No, we heard you before. Try it again, Phil.
I'm talking to you.
We go try KTOK.
No. I know what will come in.
KD5U geo on 7190. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 7190 kilohertz. KD5U geo.
I got you.
Did you get me?
I got you. I can hear you here. So
Oh, good. So at least I'm transmitting out of the backyard.
Go ahead.
Well, Mark pressed a lot of buttons, a lot of knobs.
I got you too, but I don't have a microphone.
naturally.
Tell me when you get that dialed in on frequency. I'm not talking to you yet. You're going to have to tell me when you're ready.
If he keeps messing around, you might be talking to him. He might not want to hear it.
Oh, he's twisting all the knobs on the thing. Are you on frequency yet?
No,
Katie,
I don't,
have you
there's something,
geo-testing?
there's
1,
some,
2, 3, 4,
there's some
5.
squiggly pots. So I think I'm gonna run over to,
geo.
I'm gonna run over to KTOK and see if I can get something broadcast.
Yeah, the pot's a little.
Yep,
They're,
they got
they're
a
at
big
1
signal.
megahertz.
They got a
1
big
mega
signal
squiggle.
anyway.
What's that, Ken?
I said, if you go to a broadcast band, they'll have a big signal.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, John, I was gonna try to find a schematic of that transceiver to see what tubes are in it.
Here, I'm going to share my screen with you as soon as
I haven't found a schematic yet.
I got one for you. There's a hybrid net that happens on Saturday and Sunday, and they put all this stuff online.
Well, just give me the URL and I'll.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Oh,
Hang on, I'll let you share if you want to. You can share if you want.
Mark, do you have a loudspeaker for that thing or just a headphones?
headphones.
Just running it through the audio into the room.
Oh,
Running through the PA system right now.
oh, okay. I thought I heard WWV there for a second.
Well, that's 1 kilohertz or 1 megahertz right there. That's
Oh, that would be KTOK. Could they be an AM signal?
That's probably a calibrator.
Yeah, that may be a calibrator on that thing.
well, there is a calibrator.
Yeah,
There is a
turn that
calibrator.
off.
No, it's off. Yeah, this is KTOK is what it's listening to.
You in AM mode?
I don't see in mode.
Well,
Here you go,
pick 'em
Ken.
up- you can pick them up on sideband if you can zero beat the carrier down to 0.
I
Got
don't
it.
see any mode, so I don't know what the.
I don't see anything.
There's a
John.
BFO. 1 kilohertz, 3 kilohertz.
Oh, Ken, look at the chat.
I'm looking. I see a link there. But when I click on it, oh, there it is.
Okay.
I'll bookmark that and then look at it later.
Okay, that's fine. No rush.
I don't know why I can't bookmark it. Oh, there we go. It's slow. Okay, John, I got it bookmarked and I can look at it later.
That's fine.
That's WWV right there. 10 megahertz.
That's what?
WWV 10 megahertz.
John's your email address good on qrz.com?
Yes, sir.
All right, if I come up with anything, I'll email you.
Thank you.
John, aren't you on Discord?
Yes.
Are you ever on there?
Well, I haven't been on there in a while. Here, I'll get on there.
I've been posting a lot of stuff on there. Nobody talks to me. They don't like me anymore.
That's only partially true. The other part is that we're busy.
Okay.
One of these days, you guys will be retired and I won't talk to you. Well, you got something there.
That's WWV.
What
You should-
frequency?
10 megahertz.
You should pick up WWV really loud on 5.
That's true. We'll try 5.
Used to be on 2.5, 5, 10, 15, 20.
World.
I don't think there's any sideband on it. I think it's just an F or a CW rig.
I'd like to come to the club meeting there, Mark, but I can't take a chance if there's going to be anybody there that hadn't had their shots, because
No, I'm with you.
Andrea is a diabetic, and I can't take a chance on bringing it home to her.
Nope. That's what the Zoom's good for, man.
Yeah,
We're good. Well, it didn't blow up anything, and it's got signal coming in, so
yeah, it's
I'm
making
happy.
noise.
I don't see any modes, so I'm guessing it's CW only.
I can't remember, the 75A4 was AM sideband and CW. And I can't remember if this 51J was before the 75A4. I think it was before it. But in 1960, whenever I was on Guam, we was using single sideband, and after I got discharged, there wasn't too many hams on single sideband back then.
No.
Mainly because nobody had a rig.
Yep.
Can you get the camera where you can show us a close-up of the knobs?
Well, I think if there was a mode knob there, Mark would be able to recognize it.
Yeah, I think so.
Crystal filter.
Crystal filter.
And the crystal filters got the phasing. The phasing knob looks a little bit funny,
Yeah.
and the PFO pitch looks a little funny. Feels a little funny.
Yeah.
It might need to be cleaned. It's just a little loose.
It's some tuner spray in there.
RF gain on, standby off. 0 indicator to zero the
Yeah.
knob. Antenna. I guess that's an antenna trimmer.
Probably. Yep.
Audio gain, calibrate. There's calibrate. AVC. limiter, and band change. Meter in and out. It's the only thing you got.
How do you know what?
I don't remember it being CW only.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
guessing it's CW only because the only thing it's got is a BFO.
Yeah.
Does the scale roll around when you change the band?
Yep. 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 And it's smooth. Everything's working there. So
I guess you're gonna have to Google it.
Okay.
Yep.
Put it on 7195. I'll give you a dead carrier.
oh, okay.
You can see if you're getting anything on the meter.
You may have to tune around a little bit, Mark.
Okay. Yeah, it says plus or minus kilohertz is what it's good for.
Yeah. Probably not GPS locked.
Okay, so there's 71.
Somebody on 195.
Yeah, on 7190 yet?
On 71, they'll call it on 7190.
Okay. I'm
You can-
sending you a signal. You should be able to beat to it.
I gotta get my K3 station set up tomorrow. That's all there is to it.
With a microphone?
That could be just terrible antenna or something's just really out of calibrate. It's hearing enough, so the whole thing's working.
But can you do, John, can you do any 2-meter sideband?
What do you mean? I mean, I got a handy talkie, but I connected to an antenna. I can't do it. Like, I don't have a base station for it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's FM anyway.
I've been meaning to do that.
Can you do 6 meters
Cannot.
sideband?
I could do 160 to 10.
I listened to 10 the other day and I didn't hear anything.
I was thinking about getting on there on Sunday night and trying to finish up sweepstakes. I did the
Over the weekend, only thing I did, I worked moon bounce.
Yeah, I contested. That was it.
Yeah.
And I decided that I'm never contesting at home again.
Yeah. I've done that a lot. And
I kept getting interrupted by people. I got to go out into a tent somewhere where I can't be bothered. Because
I understand what you're saying, but
I'd get a frequency and I'd get going, and then I'd have 2 kids get in a fight.
Yeah.
And I had to give up the frequency to go break it up. And,
I know it's impossible.
and so I told my wife, I said, I don't care how cold it is. I'm taking the contest out to the lake.
Yeah.
You know, and right before the contest started, I had a friend who wanted to ride to the football game. and then so I got back here, and then they wanted to do. I was just, and then I was just wiped out Saturday night, and so went to bed, and then tried again Sunday, and did all right. I made way more contacts on Sunday than on Saturday, and I was thinking about going over to 10 meters, but I never did.
Yeah. I did some FT8 on 17 meters. It was really blasting in.
Really?
I got in there kind of late. You can do a lot of Europe and Africa on 17 meters, but later in the evening it starts shutting down. The DX does. And I got right in on the tail of it. I worked 4 or 5. Oh, I did work that 5T5 in Africa though.
Oh, wow.
I'm
Yeah, I saw
17.
him on the spotting network.
Yeah, I worked him. I can't remember what it's called, 5T5 something. But I mean, he came back to first call. That was FT8, and I was running 40 watts on FT8, and my antenna is just a homemade aluminum rotatable dipole,
Cool.
and I had it broadside to Africa. No
How high
big-
up is it?
Huh?
How high up?
It is probably 35 feet up.
That's not bad. Do those rotatable dipoles work out
No,
really well?
No, it's more like 45 feet up. Yeah, rotatable dipoles work good.
I've thought about that.
Well, if you make a dipole, the dipole doesn't have a lot of gain, but if your signal's coming in off the end, it's 6 dB lower than it is from the broadside to it.
Right.
So what that means is, if you can rotate your dipole broadside to who you're trying to work, you have a 6 dB gain over what it would be if he was off the end of it. So that's significant, you know.
It really is.
You know how much 6 dB, every 3 dBs doubles or halves your power.
Yeah.
So 6 dBs, man, is doubling it and then doubling it again.
Like double the voltage or quadruple the power.
Yep.
That's what I use on 6 meter and 10 meter is a 2-element rotatable dipole.
Yep, they work. If you can get that thing broadside to the signal. And you know, a lot of guys think your antenna's got to be 100 feet tall. That's not nice, but not necessary.
Attention all amateur radio operators.
Give me 1 second, Ken.
X5MOR. Tonight's net control for the Cleveland County Amateur Radio Emergency Services Training Net. Welcome to this evening's net. The purpose of the net is to act as a preparedness and training drill for emergency net procedures, to share information and ideas concerning amateur radio emergency communications, to pass national traffic system and other formal traffic, and to promote areas in the normal section. So then, non-official not wishing to participate in the net RF, please stand by until the net is concluded. Any person with emergency traffic may interrupt the net at any time by calling net control and using the phrase break, break, or break emergency. This is a directed net. Please address all traffic through net control. At this time, is there any emergency traffic or areas related traffic for the net come down? Hearing no stations with traffic, do we have any stations with announcements for the net? This is the time tonight. Yes, so we're changing things up a little bit. Anyone with announcements, come down. WA60KD. Okay, Denny, I've got you down. Anybody else with announcements? G5T. Anyone else? WA6DKD with your traffic, please. Okay, thank you, Galen. I just want to let everybody know that following this net or at 8:30, the gossip net will be on there where you can get on there and tell us about your day and plans and what you've been up to. And come join us, 8:30. Thank you. WA6DKD. Very good. Anyone needing Bill? Hearing none, we'll move to WG5T. Thank you, Caitlin. WG5T, just a reminder of our 10-meter net tomorrow night, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central Time on 28.445 upper sideband. And our WA6DKD nanny is up for net control. Thank you, WG5T. Very good. Anyone need details or bills? Hearing that, we'll move back to W5IFN, Mr. Announcer. Good to hear it all in the net. Since I did not hear Jim, I thought, well, I'll make an announcement for Monday night 6-meter net. It's on 50.200 upper sideband, and we have a lot of fun there. So if you have 6-meter capability, please join us. That's it. Back to net control, W5IFN. Very good. 6-meter net. Anyone needing bills? Are there any additional persons with announcements for the net? Okay, at this time, we will not do a roll call. However, I am going to ask for check-in via the prefix on your call sign. So at this time, anyone with an alpha, with an A prefix on their call sign? Each side, no picture, and no traffic. AG5RQ, Mike, no traffic. AC4CH, John, no traffic. Okay, we'll recognize AC4CH, John. AG.
Hey guys, I say a lot of pictures, but only one person.
Sam, I hear?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be back. I gotta put my daughter to sleep real quick and I'll be back.
All right.
Here I am, Sam. What's going on?
Oh, I just drove back in from Dallas. We've been down there for a few days.
We did.
Just got in, got the truck unloaded, and thought I'd get on here and say hi before it ends.
I tried to talk to you last Tuesday. You didn't stay long, and there was a lot of chatting going on there. So, did you take the camper, or you just was on a trip?
No, I had a little business I needed to do yesterday, so we went down and spent a couple days. Just, I like little bourbon every so often.
Yeah.
And I don't like to drive when I've been doing that. So we actually stayed in a hotel in downtown Dallas and walked over, walked everywhere we went in the evenings, so we eat dinner. Just not worth it anymore,
We done that in San Antonio a few times. We would go down there and go to the river walk and they got that a tram thing down there. You can just ride everywhere and not have to drive your car.
Yeah. Yeah, it's we stayed we were like 3 blocks from the West End there in Dallas, and there's hotel had a bar on the roof, but there was also plenty of stuff to do. And, so we parked the car and just
Yeah.
walked,
The Portland, Oregon has got the neatest transportation. They got driverless trams. You just get on that sucker and it stops at different stops and you can get off or on or whatever.
Right.
It goes all over the place.
It's we didn't travel far enough in Dallas to need to. I mean, they've got, I don't know what you call them, trams or trolleys or what they call them down there, but we never went far enough to need to do that. So
Yeah,
it was, of course, I guess Monday was the 59th anniversary of Kennedy
yeah.
being shot. And so the West End down there was pretty busy.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, driving in Dallas, anybody that complains about driving here just needs to go to Dallas for a day.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean,
just try pulling a fifth wheel through Dallas.
Well, I pulled my little trailer through Dallas, but
yeah,
I honestly felt like people. Of course, I'm driving this F-150 I just bought. I'm a pretty good sized Target.
Yeah.
But people were actually pretty polite. If I put on my turn signal and, need to change lanes, people would give me room,
They wouldn't do that for me whenever I was coming through Dallas several times in Houston. And one time I was going through Albuquerque and I needed to turn left and go south on I-25. But I hit that town right at rush hour. And I had my signal light on for 4 or 5 miles. They would not let me move over. So I just took the steering wheel and went like that. And that trailer back there went woo, woo, woo. And then they backed off.
Yeah.
Then I was able to move over so I could.
Well, that's kind of what I do. I put the turn signal on and I just start easing over and, usually get a pretty, but they were much more polite than I even remember. They were pretty good.
Well, I worked out of Dallas for a couple of years, office down there. The sign, of course, when you come down to state line, the sign says drive friendly the Texas way.
Yeah.
I hate to see them when they're pissed.
Really?
Well,
but I figured out that the way you get rid of an Aggie is you get on 635 in the left-hand lane and make a left signal and he'll hit the wall trying to pass you.
My problem was I wasn't real familiar with Dallas and sometimes I needed to be in the left lane and sometimes I needed to be in the right lane and I didn't know which lane I needed to be in. So I'm driving in the middle lane until I figure out where I need to go. And by that time they won't let me over.
Nope.
Yeah. And they their signage, they don't tell you 5 miles ahead that you need to be in the left, that something's a left exit. They tell you
left. Not to be such a thing as an exit left. That ought to always be exit right.
Yeah, but
it should be. Yeah,
it's not true in Dallas. So
no, it's not.
Well, I'll just tell you, I missed the same. There's an exit left to take you when you're going south. There's an exit left that takes you west, which is counterintuitive. You're turning right, but you exit left. Yeah, I missed it twice. There was twice I couldn't get over, but I'm just not in that big a hurry. I just go down and turn around and come back and do it again. It's like I'm not hauling a trailer either.
Some of those things you got to go 10 miles to turn around.
Yeah, we did a couple times. Actually, one time, I knew I wanted to go west, so we just went down and instead of turning around, I just got off at the next exit and headed west on the city streets.
Yeah.
And then cut back north. I was trying to get off from 35 onto 30. So I knew I was going to hit it. You can't go north. You go west a little and go north. Eventually you're going to hit 30.
Yeah.
And got back on, but again, we weren't in any hurry. We were just, I had a couple appointments I needed to get to, but they were all like, well, I'll be there around 3 o'clock type things, and nobody really cared. So, but, we had a good trip. It was, except I'm tired. The trip home tonight, I was really hoping to get home before it got dark. And I forgot how early dark
it gets dark early, man. It was dark 525.
We weren't even to Chickasha when it got dark.
Yeah.
And
How's
it,
your new truck working out?
oh, I love it. Love it. We got, where's my phone? This entire trip. Let me pull this up. I took a picture of the speedometer when we got home.
How many miles?
For this trip, we drove 662.8 miles
Yeah.
and got 22.8 miles per gallon. And 71.2 of the miles we drove were all electric.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good.
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, I think I could have made this whole trip on a tank of gas.
Yeah.
I mean, I ended up filling up on the way home just to be sure, because I didn't want to run out.
Take a chance. Yeah.
But yeah, 22.8 miles per gallon in that truck doesn't
That's
make me
fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's but talk about trailers. One of the things we did while we were down there is we looked at some different trailers, and we went to the Airstream dealer. Boy, do they like their trailers.
Yeah, they're high dollar.
And they are nice, but they are high dollar.
Oh, they're just way overpriced.
And
And
right now
heavy.
they're not negotiating either.
They're heavy. Those Airstreams are heavy.
Well, they're really not heavy compared when you, considering what you get, but they're well made. I mean, the cabinetry, everything's really well made in them. But we had this cute little sales gal, and I said, so how do these things handle hail? And she went, oh my God, we don't even say that word in here. She said that's like the kryptonite of a Airstream is hail. And but they've got the Airstream the Airstream dealer here in Oklahoma City. It's up there in Edmond, and they don't have a trailer on the lot. And they
oh really?
You call them, they say, well, tell us what you want, and we'll find you one.
Yeah.
But how do you know what you want if you can't
see them?
Get in them, And
So I ain't buying nothing sight unseen.
Oh, me either. Especially when it costs $80,000 or more.
Yep, that's right.
They had a used one down there. I really liked it. First of all, it was a twin axle, and it was like their smallest double axle trailer.
And tandem.
And yeah, and it was really nice, and it was a used one. But
how big was it?
I'm thinking, what do I want to say? 26. It's their smallest tandem axle. But anyway, I said, so what are you asking for this one? 80. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. My fifth wheel is a 27 foot with one slide, and it's big enough.
Yeah. Well, these don't have any slides, and they're definitely nice trailers, but
that's too much money.
I didn't even ask how much some of the big ones were.
Well, here's the thing. You got to stop and think. How much are you going to be able to use something like that? And it's not worth putting 80 grand into something you can only use twice a year,
Well, it really depends how much expendable income you have. To me, it's just like a boat or just about anything else. I mean, to me, our camper saves us some money because we can camp a lot cheaper and we can stay in hotels.
Yeah, but you only use it 2 or 3 times a year.
Right? Yeah, well, hopefully more.
Whenever I retired, though, we used ours a lot. We went 6 or 7 pretty long vacations the first year I retired.
So you still have yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we went all the way up to Washington State, and we drove that coast road from Washington State all the way down to California, pulling a fifth wheel. And that was really a slow go. It wasn't on I-5. It was over on I can't remember, that might be US 1 that parallels the ocean over there. And it was pretty slow go, 45 miles an hour some places, curvy roads and stuff. But man, was it a beautiful scenic trip. And especially Oregon, man. Oregon is just gorgeous. But
well, I had an uncle that lived in Spokane, Washington.
Yeah, I've been there several times.
I went up to visit him, and we left there and went all the way to the ocean. And
Yeah.
God, I
So
mean,
you went over the mountains.
yeah, just some
Yeah.
incredible,
That's
incredible
awesome.
beauty.
Awesome. Yeah.
But every place is beauty. I gotta tell you, we were down at this trailer rally down in Big Bend, Texas.
Yeah.
And these two guys from Ohio, from the factory, came down there. And anyway, one of the people down there had a flat tire, and these two kids went over to help the guy change his flat on their trailer. And so I was joking with him. I said, so if I'm, out here on the highway and I have a flat tire, are you going to fly in and help me change my tire? This kid looked at me and he goes, as long as it ain't in Ohio. I think wherever you are, you get kind of tainted toward it. You forget.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I'll go anywhere as long as it's not in Ohio, And
Well,
so I don't know. It's
Speaking of Oregon,
yeah.
there are 7 counties that want to become Idaho.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But do you know in Oregon you can't pump your own gas?
Really?
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
have the gas station.
The only
gas
one thing
station-
wrong with Oregon, it's full of
Huh?
Oregonians.
Yeah, they have to have a gas station attendant pump your gas.
Huh.
But and there's still a whole bunch of states that won't let you have that little trigger thing on there. Kentucky wouldn't for years, and they finally got rid of that. But
I pulled into gas station and got out and got that hose out and started to pump it, and the guy come, oh no, you can't do that here in Oregon, against the law.
yeah, a lot of things against the law. But, well, our kind of goal is we'd like to take 3, maybe 4 3-week trips, let's say.
Yeah.
This year we did a 3-week and a 2-week,
Yeah.
a little over 2 weeks, but
Well, we went to Yellowstone every year for many years, and a lot of times we'd go to Yellowstone, and on the way back we'd go to Rocky Mountain National Park, and we'd go in September, and in September every morning we'd get up, we'd look up at the mountains to see how far the snow had moved down the mountains, so we'd know when to leave, because we didn't want to get stuck up in there in the mountains pulling the fifth wheel down a slick highway,
right. Well, it's I was talking to these people at that rally we went to that they live in their trailer 11 months out of the year total.
I couldn't do that.
During Christmas time, like Thanksgiving week, the other month out of the year kind of split up. They are at her parents, the holidays.
Mhm.
But January 2nd, they're gone again.
Yeah.
And so I said, so do you stay south all the time when you're, in the winter? He goes, oh no. He said, the thing you find out is that the places that have snow have these things called snow plows. And he said, the more snow they have, the better they do with the roads.
Yeah, that's right.
He said the worst place to be is in the middle.
In the ice.
And
Well, we met a lot of people traveling, and we met snowbirds, that came to South Texas in the wintertime. And this one place we used to camp, it was a RV park, but on the outside edges of it, it had mobile homes. And a lot of them snowbirds would buy a mobile home and stock it, and then they would just drive down there. They wouldn't have to pull a fifth wheel or camper or anything. And they'd just drive in there and stay in there 3 or 4 months out of the winter, and then drive back up north. That'd be a good way of doing it.
yeah, and you can it just depends on what style. I've got this friend that's getting ready to retire, and he's got a big fifth wheel, and he already lives in his fifth wheel.
Yeah.
He sold his house and he lives in his fifth wheel.
We met a lot of people that did that on the road.
And but what he's going to do is he's going to go be a camp host.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we
You know,
met a lot of camp hosts, and I thought about doing that, Sam.
You know, most of them, they want the good ones, they want a 6-month commitment, but you do something down south in the winter and then you do something, you know, more north in the.
I could have got a camp host job working in Aransas Wildlife Refuge. And then I would be camp host, and that allowed me to do wildlife photography in the areas that nobody else can get.
Right.
And that would have been a choice job. And we met this camp host in Alaska. We was coming back from Fairbanks, and we pulled in this state park, and there was only one camper in there, and that was the camp host. And that guy was from Michigan. He said they go there every year to be camp host. And of course, we had our pick. And that was the most gorgeous place you ever seen. And of course, that guy got free camping to be the camp host. So
right.
They camped there for, I don't remember how long their commitment was. I think it might have been 4 months that they had to be camp host there. And that suited them just fine.
I mean, it's interesting, like down up at Big Bend, when we were up there, they have 2 camp hosts in that campground.
Yeah, that's probably big.
Yellowstone, they had 7 in our campground. They had 7 different camp hosts. And
well, that's a big, Yellowstone's 2.2 million acres.
Well, that's just in our, you know, for our campground.
Okay.
You know, I don't know about the other campground.
Yeah, wow.
But there were 7 hosts in ours. And funny thing was that
it's because it's so busy.
Yeah, I think so. But you know, they also get to take shifts, you know, so you know, they're not working 24/7, you know.
No.
And
what does the camp host do?
Well, you know, it depends. I think, you know, like the one at Big Bend, you know, they came over and kind of, after we got parked, and kind of came over and checked us in and made sure we were the people that were supposed to be in that, you know, reserved for that spot, and just told us, you know, if you have any issues, you know, this is our spots. And I noticed there were 2 of them, and they had like signs out front, and one would say on duty and the other would say off duty, and they would kind of flip back and forth. But, you know, they're there to make sure that you really reserve the spot. Some campgrounds, you can't get in the gate. Like if you go up to Lake Canton here in Oklahoma, you don't get in the gate unless you have a spot. There's, you know, they take turns manning the little house there, and then you know, they tool around a lot of times on a golf cart, and just kind of, you know, depends on the rules. You know, like say at Big Bend, there are no fires, no ground fires. You could have a charcoal fire on their grill thing, but they were, you know, they come and make sure you know the rules. You know, you can't have a campfire. You know, it's, but it depends. You know, the ones in Yellowstone, we never saw any of them. You know, none of them ever came by when we were there anyway. And
we went into some campgrounds in Alaska where there was no camp host, and there was a slot where you put your $2 in the box.
Yeah.
But I didn't have to do that because my camper had a sticker on it, allowed me to camp in any state park. So I just had to put that decal number on that piece of paper and drop it in the box.
Right.
Fill out that little form and put that decal number on it. But there was a lot of campgrounds like that in Alaska that had no camp host.
Well, apparently this buddy of mine that's getting ready to retire, and he wants to do that. He talked to some camp hosts recently, and they told him you go to this like volunteer.gov website, and it lists all the different opportunities to be a camp host. And this camp host told him, he said, you know, you got to watch. He said, some of them, they have you cleaning the bathrooms.
Yeah.
You know, you want to read the you gotta read
the fine print.
Yeah, read the fine print for whatever you know, campground you're looking at. And but anyway, they really sold him on doing that. And you know, you stay for free, and actually, like at Big Bend, we didn't have any utilities there. We didn't have water there. I mean, there was a faucet across the street we could go get, you know, buckets, but there was nothing on our campsite, no electric. But the camp host has got sewer and water and electric.
Yeah, full hookups.
Yeah. Yeah, they've got full hookups even when they're, and same thing in Yellowstone. We had nothing.
Well, there's only, whenever we were going, there's only one campground in Yellowstone that got everything, and that's right there at Yellowstone Lake. And that's where we always stayed, had full hookups.
Mm. Well, there were just a few. We were at the Monroe campground, which is on by West Yellowstone on that entrance, and
Oh, yeah.
and the camp hosts all had it, but there were probably 6 or 8 more full hookups over there.
Yeah.
They're almost impossible to get. You know, the camp hosts take up 7 of them. And
Hey,
then
you know, over there at the west end, there was a kind of a bear place where they had some bears. Is that still there? There was man, they must have had a half a dozen or so grizzly bears in a containment over there.
no, not that I know of. No.
I don't remember if it could have been right outside of Yellowstone by that little town of West Yellowstone.
You know, there are, West Yellowstone, pretty interesting little town. There are, this family that was camping next to us did a lot more research than we did. I mean, you know, it was our first time there. We wanted to see Old Faithful and all this. And but he was a doctor and she's a pharmacist, and they had 2 sets of twins. They had 4 kids.
Wow.
They were living in a tent, all 6 of them in a tent. Oh my God. But anyway, it was quite a circus at their place, but they had really researched, and like the mom had really researched, and they got up one morning and they went to there's this bear that's been there she's like 50 years old or something. She's like the oldest bear in the park, and she has a cub, and she had researched like where to go and what time to be there, and maybe you'll see them. And sure enough, they got there, and here she comes with her cub, you know, and they were all excited, and we didn't see any bear. I mean, we just weren't, you know, we didn't research it, and actually saw a lot of antelope and a lot of critters, but no bears.
Yeah.
And which generally is my preference.
You've seen a lot of buffalo and a lot of, I guess you've seen a few elk, and
there were a lot of, I guess elk, and I mean, up in where the fort is at the north end up there. There were elk just wandering around.
Oh yeah, and
playing under the trees.
Yeah, that's the craziest thing there.
Yeah.
And them are big elk.
Yes, these are big elk. I mean, you know, I always thought an elk is just kind of like a deer. No, these make deer look like midgets. I mean, these are huge elks. There.
I had an associate in the linear accelerator business that lived in Casper, Wyoming. He got eaten by a bear.
Oh,
literally.
You know, there was a guy here in Oklahoma City that got mauled, and I don't know if you ever, there was a place they've closed now. There was a place, kind of an REI type place. It was really nice over on May, called Backwoods, I think.
I remember that.
And the guy that owned that, I'm really not sure if he's the guy that got mauled or if he was with the guy that got mauled. I think he was with the guy that got mauled. And they were like hiking somewhere.
Yeah.
And they kind of took separate trails, you know, and said, we'll meet at the other end. And one of them went high and one of them went low.
Yeah.
And the guy that went low walked upon a bear cub and realized that ain't good, and turned around, and there was mama.
Yeah.
And before he could even get his bear spray out, he got mauled, and he screamed, and the other guy came running down and sprayed the bear and saved the guy's life, you know.
Best thing you can do is stay together. Don't separate. But
well, make a lot of noise, and we always carry bear spray. Anytime we're in bear country, we carry bear spray just in case. And you know, it's but you know, down at Big Bend down there, they have these Mexican bears that are actually little black bears. They're not very big.
Yeah.
That, have come across, swam across the Rio Grande, and they're kind of, we never saw any of them, but what I concerned out there is what am I trying to say? Not bobcats, the big ones. Cougars. Yeah.
Cougars and mountain lions.
Puma.
Yeah, either one, same difference as far as
Same thing.
I can tell.
Yeah.
And but that's another reason I carry bear spray. I figure they won't like that any more than a bear does.
Yeah.
But you know, to a cougar or a mountain lion, you're just a meal.
That's right.
I mean, if they'll take a deer, they'll take you. You're just lunch. And
My younger brother came upon a black bear in the Maine woods, and they both kind of startled each other.
Yeah.
And he had a gun, but he said before he could move, he started singing the national anthem at the top of his lungs. The bear looked at him and just turned around and ran away. That one's crazy. I ain't going near it.
He must not be much of a singer, I could do that. I'll bet I could run some wildlife off.
Whenever we went to Denali National Park in Alaska, we had to go through a class before we could go hiking in bear country. And that's all bear country up there. And they told us the do's and the don'ts and all that stuff. And we had bear spray with us, but there's places where there's no tree to climb. You're out in the middle of, you're out in the open, and you feel kind of vulnerable out there. I guarantee you. I mean, we've seen a lot of bear, but most of them was pretty far off. We've seen a sow with 3 cubs, and man, they were coming right toward us.
Well, I'll tell you.
Thankfully, they turned when they seen us. We was making a lot of noise.
Yeah, that's what I've always heard is talk and make a lot of noise, and even if you walk up on it, scream and yell, and same thing with a bobcat.
A lot of those people had little bells on their backpacks, so it jingled when they were going down the trail.
Well, I'll tell you, we were in the Smokies one time, and the road was kind of elevated. And then there was a really steep grassy hill down to this kind of mowed area and then trees. And there was this bear cub down there on the bottom of that. And people were parking on the side of the road and going down this really steep. I mean, it was 45 degrees steep grassy hill down there to take pictures of this little bear cub.
Wow.
And my son wanted to go down there. He was about 8.
Yeah.
I said, I said, that bear cub's there. I'll bet you right inside that tree line is mama. Yeah. And if she thinks, if that bear screams, if he gets scared, and there's no way you're going to get back up that hill,
Yeah, that bear can run up that hill and then flat.
Yeah. Of course, my son's answer was, I can beat those other people back up the hill, so bear will get them,
Yeah.
But we were up in the Smokies hiking, and we were on this switchback. And it's really hard to describe, but it's like the switchback went up, and on one side of us was like the mountain, and the other side of it was like, and the mountain had all this brush, kind of almost like a big holly bush growing along there. And on the other side was this drop off, So we're on this hike, and it's kept going up and up and up, and we were pretty far up it, and suddenly we start hearing this noise behind us, and we could hear this rustling in that holly. And I said, we need to pick it up. I mean, we're in this like 1-lane little switchback, and I said, that could be a bear coming up the path behind us, I mean, the way it was rustling. So we started really picking up the pace, and we get up, and then suddenly there were these huge boulders. I mean, I'm talking 10, 12 feet tall on one side. And so I said, we're getting up there. So we hoisted my son up, and we got our packs up, and we all got up on top of this huge boulder, and we're up there. At least we had the high ground, and suddenly here come these 3 rangers and they were coming through there cutting. They had clippers, and they were clipping all that brush back to keep the path open. But let me tell you, my heart was racing. I was never so glad to see 3 rangers in my life.
Was they laughing at you?
Well, no, they were. We told them, and they said, but we couldn't see them until they came around that last turn. It could have been anything. And yeah, it was. And one time we went up to this place called Gregory Bald, which is like a day hike up, and then we spend the night, and then we'd hike back down the next day. And we got up there right at dusk, and there was a bear at the campground up there. It's a you can only hike or camp in the Smokies where they tell you can. You can't just
Yeah.
stop anywhere. Anyway, there was a bear nosing around the campground, and we just got up there. We were exhausted. You know, we've been hiking all day, and we get up there, and there's this bear nosing around, little black bear. But we just sat down on this log and watched him until he finally got bored and walked off. And we made our tents, got our tent out. But the best story I've got in the Smokies is one time we were camping out of our truck or out of our car, and we got to this campground kind of late, and everybody else like already had their tents set up and we're getting ready to cook cooking their supper, and it was getting dusky. And so we were just getting our tent set up, and everybody else was starting to eat and stuff. And all of a sudden, this wall of skunks came out of the woods. I mean, literally there was a skunk between every tree,
What?
in every 2 trees, there was a skunk. And these skunks come in, and of course, everybody jumps up from their picnic tables and runs. And these skunks just jump up on the table and start eating, and they kind of eat until they're done. And people are running around the other side of their tent, and the skunks just climb up there and eat all they want. And then they just vanished back into the woods. It was like some kind of Stephen King novel. It really was. And we were safe because we hadn't got our food yet because we were running late. So, but everybody else was trying to figure out what was left so they could eat. Then there was this woman with a pink poodle. Apparently the poodle decided to chase the skunks and got sprayed. So she ended up bathing it in tomato juice to try to get the smell off. But I just always figure it's their territory and we're the invaders.
That's right.
They get the space. They
You
get
can
the
have it.
paths. They get it all. Oh me. So I haven't winterized my trailer yet. I don't know if we're gonna be going anywhere this year or not.
Yeah.
The rest of the year. So with the holidays and all that. But I'm hoping to do 3 big trips next year. And then, we just go up to Canton for weekends. And I mean, everything doesn't have to be a 2 or 3 week thing. We can just take long weekends. And,
Yeah. We used to do that.
It's,
But we used to go to Colorado every year, and in the wintertime we'd go to Ranzis Wildlife Refuge, South Texas.
well, our next one is already planned. We're going down to, I'm not even sure where it is, somewhere down by Austin in April, end of April. We've already got that one planned. We'll be gone a couple of weeks, I think. And going down there, and I've actually had some friends in Austin I want to see. It's not totally a camping trip, while we're there, we'll go into Austin and see some friends and stuff. But we want to go, my wife wants to go to that Lady Bird Johnson it's grasslands or something that's down there. And
Good wildflowers.
yeah. So we're already got that one scheduled. And it's
I always liked Colorado, man. I could go to Colorado every year.
we've never camped there. I mean, I've been there, my wife's been there, but never in a camping scenario. So, but I was talking to a guy that said it's gotten so bad in Colorado. He said he has a cabin on a mountain and the driveway leads down to the road, and he's gone to go to the grocery, and he gets down there and somebody's got their camper set up in his driveway right off the road because they can't get campsites.
Well, like I told you before, we always go in September after school starts and people's through with their vacation, and that's when we went. Of course, I'm sure it's a lot worse now than it was then. That's the reason why is there's too many people in the world.
Yeah. Well, we're, we hit Yellowstone at the exact wrong time.
Yeah, you did. You need to try that again.
I joked there was 10,000. There could be a buffalo in the field. There'd be 10,000 people standing alongside the road. I mean,
taking a picture of it with their phone camera.
Yeah. It was. I'd like to go back. Actually,
go in September.
Ken, and I know you and I are about the same age, but you know,
I'm older than you are.
I know you are. I was just teasing, but you know, we were talking coming back from Big Bend about, you know, we really enjoyed Big Bend, but I don't know if we'll ever go back there.
Yeah.
I mean, we only have so many camping trips. I don't know what that is. That may be
Yeah.
20, that may be 30, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to go back to someplace.
Yeah, I understand. And that's the way we was. Our camping, we didn't go and stay in one place. A lot of people, they had a huge camper and they didn't enjoy pulling it. So they'd go on vacation, they'd go somewhere, they'd park it there and they'd stay there for 2 or 3 weeks. I can't do that. I like to keep going. We'll stay someplace 2 or 3 nights and then go on. The
Yeah.
only place we stayed very long was Yellowstone.
Mark's getting ready to talk to us here.
Hey, Sam,
What's up, dude?
would you send me a text or a picture of the card that guy was selling the computers to us up there at Hamfest?
Sure.
I'd appreciate that.
I will find that and do so. I did get his card and I'll have to,
Yeah.
I think it's in the bag with the computer. I still haven't plugged that thing in, but
I got both of mine set up and running now.
I will find that for you.
But if you would, yeah, send me a copy of that card.
You know, I was thinking about, I'd like to get hold of him too, because the little laptop that I have down in my ham shack is, it's Windows home version, Windows 10 home. And I was wondering, I would love to put Pro on that so I could.
And I bet he probably get you set up for it too.
Well, I'll bet he could too. I bet he has some kind of bulk license, you know.
Yes.
He could, you know.
So
That's
what do you
good
need?
thinking.
What do you need Pro for, Sam?
Well, like I have Pro on one of my other computers and I really like using remote desktop
Yeah.
to go in there and, you know, to me, it's just, you know, I was in Dallas last night and I have a VPN set up and I could, using remote desktop, I could get on my computer here at the house, you know, and but I mean, there are other ways of doing it, but I like remote desktop.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you guys, both of you have a great Thanksgiving.
oh, you
You
too.
Mark.
All right. I'm going to step out of here.
All right.
But,
I'll get that to you tomorrow at the
all
latest.
right. That's fine. No big hurry. I just wanted to get a copy of that so I can talk to him. I might get a couple more of those computers from him.
This is the computer guy, Mark?
Yeah.
Oops. Hang on.
Yeah, I might buy another one too. You know, that was, I bought so many toys. I haven't had time to play with half of them. It's
What kind of processor they have in a Mark?
It's got it's an Intel i5. It's got the 4270, I think, or 4470. I can't remember what that was on it. It's pretty dang fast. Let me tell you what.
Yeah.
You blink, you miss it.
No
I mean,
slap.
it's got a 250 gig solid state hard drive in it,
What was the price?
and it's 8 gigs of RAM in this computer. And that sucker is smoking. I mean, it's good
What's the
and
price?
works good.
What was the price on it?
He was selling them up there at the Hamfest for $85 a pop.
That's a giveaway, man.
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
well, I made him a deal on it. If I bought 2 of those the higher speed ones, he sold them to me for $75 a pop.
Yeah.
He
So I
bought
bought
the
2
two
of them.
high speed ones. I bought the next one down. Mine's got what is it? I'm looking at the label on it now. It's got an i5 2.9 gigahertz CPU,
Yes.
Intel CPU, and
Yes.
Windows 10 Pro installed. It's got a 240 gigabyte hard drive, brand new. And I paid he was selling those for $70.
Are you looking at it, Sam?
Well, I'm looking at I took a picture of the label.
Oh, okay. I was gonna have you hold it up.
Well, you can kind of see it in the picture there.
I mean, that's a really good buy because if you just buy the i5 processor by itself, it's $200.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still not exactly sure what I'm going to do with it.
Yeah,
But for $70, it's a
yeah.
full
These-
featured little printer or little computer.
These are basically the laptop type configuration in a little box.
Yeah.
It's a tiny little box, and I've got mine's hooked up on my radios now, and it's working pretty good.
Well, I didn't have a keyboard mouse that I could use, available for it. So I picked one of those up last week and found one at Target, a little, God, can't think, Logitech keyboard mouse combo for
Yeah.
$30.
How big is the box that it's in, Ken?
About 7 inches by, hang on,
Yeah, I didn't.
I have a tape here somewhere. Well, I had it. I've reached
I don't know
the
if you can
stage where I
see
can
this.
hide my own Easter eggs.
I don't know if you can see that, Ken, but
Yeah, I can't tell the size.
yeah, it's maybe 1.5 tall by, I'd guess 6 by 8.
It's pretty small.
Yeah.
Pretty much 7 by 7 and a little over 1 inch thick.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
It's basically the size of a CD player, CD-ROM.
Oh, really? That's small.
Yeah.
Much.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a nice little small compact setup. And it does okay for anything short of real gaming.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
if you
not a
want to
gamer.
do, if you
I'm
want to go
not a
start
gamer,
doing
Ken.
World of Warcraft or some of these high, that's not so bad anymore, but some of the more challenging games.
I think
it's
what I'm
not-
going to do with mine is hook it up to my radio and use it for FT8 and some of that stuff. And
that's
we have my
exactly what I'm
laptop.
setting up
My
for.
laptop, I will keep like the software to program my handy talkies and some stuff like that. I'll keep on the laptop, but this one will stay in the shack just to run the radio with, basically.
Well, I kept going crazy over the sound because if I had mine set up for FT8, it would steal the sound. And if I tried to zoom with it,
Right.
I always got in a battle. So now my laptop does the zoom.
Yep.
And the programming, and the other one will do my radios. So
Yep. That's what I'm planning to. I just got to get it out. Man, I'll tell you, I don't know where the time goes.
what is time?
I don't really know. But for one thing, I know I think about things a lot more before I actually do them. I plan a project because I don't want to do things twice anymore.
Well, like I told you before, Sam, I do too, but I still mess up.
Well, anything
What
worth
are you
doing
working on
once is
there?
worth doing twice.
Ken Sandburn, what are you putzing with there?
That's a QRP Labs Prog Rock. It's a programmable synthesized oscillator that can
You're gonna
be
use it for a
GPS
VFO?
disciplined. Pardon?
You're going to use it for a VFO?
Well, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. My thoughts were that it might, it'll do anything. It'll do the frequencies necessary to discipline the 9700 if it's got enough output.
It's
And I
49.
can discipline that with the GPS and then select that frequency. And I'm going to try to stabilize it. I may order that board from
Yeah.
uh
Leo Bardot.
yeah.
That board is $35 plus shipping.
Yeah, that's not bad though.
Oh, it's cheap and it was really easy to install.
So
And
I'm
already
thinking I'll
had-
do that. If this won't work, then I'll probably get something else. But
Yeah.
it looks like it. You can program the frequency to
The,
a hertz, I guess.
the frequency that you have to program that Leo Bardot GPS to is 49.125 megahertz for the IC97 to lock it to the local oscillator.
Yeah, I'll get this finished building this thing and try it out. See what it does. put it on a scope and look at it.
If you get that little board, it's got the cable with it. And you can just hook your little GPS there up to the input of it and see if it's stable enough. I've already, I worked a few moonbound stations after I got mine modified, and they seem to say that mine is solid as a rock now and on frequency. So I'm happy with that.
I was given a free oscilloscope and it doesn't work.
Oh, well, at least it's free.
Yeah, well, I said, the worst case scenario is it doesn't work. The only bad scenario is it bursts into flames and burns my house down.
There you go.
Did you get any scope probes with it?
Well, actually, I ordered, before I realized it didn't work, I ordered a set, $22, cheap set off of Amazon.
Yeah.
Just to see what they work, but the power comes on it, but the
no trace, huh?
yeah, nothing on the nothing shows up. It doesn't even glow,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna,
Well,
I don't know, if I was
open it
Ken
up.
Sandburn, I'd probably take it apart and diagnose it. And
So look for fuses. Just look for fuses.
Turn all them knobs.
Yeah.
Somebody might have all the knobs out of order, and
You might also just make sure that you don't have a loose connector in it somewhere. Reseat any boards and plugs and.
right.
Find the brightness control and turn it up.
Yeah, there's an intensity control and a focus.
Turn that sucker up,
And I played with both of them and
yeah,
nothing happens. But
Well, you bring it back to Elmer night and we'll play with it.
yeah, let's see what. Yeah, for the price, I can't complain.
Well, you got what you paid for.
That's for sure. If nothing else, I'm looking at this one Ken's got behind him over here. Nothing else, I can put it there by my radios and it'll look impressive, even if it doesn't work.
that one costs more than the one you got, though.
Yeah, I'll bet.
I've got an old tube signal generator down in the shop that I need to get out.
I don't know why. I mean, you can get a really nice oscilloscope for $350 to $450. And I guess because the fact I really don't know what to do with it very much, that just seems like a ton of money. But if it was a radio, I wouldn't think twice about paying $350. For
And there's
a
some pretty
radio.
nice looking scopes out there now.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
Well,
fair money.
This thing's 18 inches deep, and there's some of them now that are like 5 inches deep.
What kind of scope is it, Sam?
It's a ProTech. And Denny had it at the club meeting the other day. Did anybody want it? And I said yes. So I got it. But I don't know. Yeah, it could just be that the I don't know what you call it, the screen.
Yeah, it's probably pretty old if it's
a CRT. It's a CRT, and
if it's that big, it's pretty old.
I've got a 60 megahertz Philips that's about that same physical package.
It's a 20 megahertz.
Right.
And
which for some of the HS stuff, that's you can get good use out of it if you can get it to light up.
Yeah. Well, one of these days I'll open it up, and haven't gone that far yet. So just too many toys, not enough time.
Ain't it the truth?
I'm gonna have to get out of here, guys. It's almost 9 o'clock.
Yeah, me too.
Me too. I'm with you.
All right, see you guys later.
Yeah.
All right.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Night.